Welcome back, Legion. Today I want to talk to you guys about change of direction and agility training. Now, it is important to identify the difference between change of direction and agility training. So both are very similar, and they can be defined as your ability to change direction. So either going from forward to backwards, forward to left, forward to right, forward to up, backwards to forward, many different combinations, but just going from one direction to another. So that changing of direction. Now, change of direction training specifically is predetermined. So there's either a cone to cone setup or you know which direction you are going to change before you change. Agility training, on the other hand, is reactive. So where you are having to react to something, whereas it is not predetermined. Potentially even you might be thinking you're going to go one way and then you have to react and then change the other way due to an external stimulus, which is usually an opponent. It could also be the ball or general play itself. It's a very important quality because most field-based sports require agility and change of direction. I would also say that agility is more important than change of direction because you can get really good at the cone-to-cone stuff, but agility is the actual gameplay stuff. And there is some research showing that higher athletes tend to have better agility than lower level athletes. Now, this is almost not the opposite, but not quite the same with change of direction drills. So you can be really good at change of direction drills and not very good at agility drills because there are multiple other components like not just your physical qualities, but also the cognitive qualities. So where you're having to react and think and make a decision as well, which can slow your ability to change direction. It's also important to know that change of direction and agility training are more about braking than anything. It's more about your ability to slow down and stop going one way than being able to go the other way. I think a lot of people focus on this fast feet concept. Now, don't get me wrong, you need to be fast. But if you cannot slow yourself down quickly, you are definitely not going to change direction quickly. You're not going to go the other way very fast. What's important is your ability to be able to stop yourself from going one way and then quickly reverse that and go back another way. I think a lot of people underestimate how much braking force is required, so it's important to train this braking force. So why is change of direction and agility training important? So you can pretty much split it into two components. It's either defensive or attacking. So you are either defensively chasing or trying to shut down the opposition. So you're reacting to the movements of the attacking side and trying to stop them from scoring. Or is to get away and open up to get through into an attacking position and the defensive side is trying to stop you. It allows you to either create space from an attacking point of view to open up space, give you room to move, gives you the best chance to create a scoring opportunity. And then the opposite from a defensive point of view is to close down space, is to make sure that someone can't score against you. So it is really important. It's a very large component of sporting performance. Now, how can we implement this into our training? There are actually many different ways we can do this. Most of the time I would suggest though is trying to do it fresh. It is a really high quality series of movements to be able to slow yourself down, especially from high speeds, to then go somewhere else. And it's probably important to train it in a fresh state. I understand that you're going to have to change direction when you are fatigued, and that's fine. We have an element for that as well. But ideally, if you want to improve your ability to stop and go somewhere else fast, you need to be in a fresh state. Now, there's many kind of implements we can use. One is ladders. Now, not everyone's a big fan of ladders. Now, ladders don't necessarily correlate that well to for your ability to change direction or react and move away from someone else. But they can be a part of your change of direction and agility training because it does help with footwork, timing, and coordination, which are all big components of agility. So if you just did ladder training, yes, you're probably not going to get the best carryover. But if you implement it with multiple other things, it can actually be a really good way to even just warm up. So you can actually have this in the back end of your warm up for your agility session. It does get your brain thinking, and it gets your body used to shifting its weight, which is also a really important part of change of direction. Another important part is single leg strength. So I spoke about braking before. Well, you need to have strong legs, in particular on one leg. Rarely, almost never are you going to change direction with both feet on the ground. It's going to be one leg at a time. One leg is going to plant and absorb that force, slow you down, and then push you back in another direction. So it's important to do single leg strength work. That's a large component of agility training. Then you can start adding in a mix of change of direction and agility drills. Generally, we start with change of direction drills, just so you can get used to slowing your body down in a predetermined environment. So you can work on the qualities of slowing down and moving in multiple directions. Then you can progress to agility. So because you have practiced those different change of directions, you can now do it under a bit of stress, a bit of duress, where you have to add in this cognitive element and think about what you're doing. So there's so many different cone drills. Use the Googles, search up change of direction stuff, and some reactive agility stuff. There's probably no necessarily gold standard here. You can get really creative with these types of drills. But ideally a mix of both gives you the best, because you change the direction, improving the quality there can improve the quality of your agility. And then you need to obviously still have agility because you need that reactive component. Now, you can really start to tie this into your sport as well, is with small-sided games. Now, small-sided games are those tight and close, kind of like keeper off, or maybe 3v3 or 3v2, somewhere where you have to compete against each other. Now, this is probably the best kind of carryover to agility training. And this is where you can start to add a little bit of a fatiguing element to it. And this will probably have the best carryover to your game performance as well. So there's many different options here. I think another important thing with all of this training is to know that you don't necessarily need a large amount of it. 3 to 5 sets, 20 to 30 seconds when you're doing your change of direction and agility training. Your small-sided game stuff might only go for 2 to 3 minutes, because it is very high fatiguing. There's a lot of force having to go into stopping yourself and then reproduce force to go back the other way. So just be aware that it is important to do it in a fresher state, or if you're doing it, to have the appropriate work to rest ratios as well. Okay guys, there's heaps more you can talk about with agility training, and it can go way deeper than this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I'm happy to answer them. Thanks.